Is this channel just for gay men? That is something someone genuinely asked me. And for the record, no, it's not. We're open to everyone. My fiance, she's straight and she likes the channel too. So if you're into property investing or you want to be, this is the channel for you. I've helped thousands of everyday people make smarter property decisions through our podcast, our YouTube channel, and one-on-one advice through my team of financial advisors. And look, I don't want to be the smartest economist because I know I'm not, but I do want to make property investing simple, practical, and something you can actually act on. So in this video, I'm going to be answering the most common and most ridiculous property questions I get, and I'm going to show you how to cut through the noise and make smarter decisions. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Ed, an economist and property investor at Opus Partners, and in front of me I've got two jars. One has helpfully been labelled as questions, and the other says challenges. So before I pick a question, I'm going to be given a challenge, kindly cooked up for me by our team, and a certain way that I need to answer this question. I do not know why I do this to myself. So, do you think that New Zealand house prices will keep falling? Okay, and the challenge is the whisper challenge. Answer it like it's ASMR. Okay. So do I think that house prices will keep falling? Over the short term, maybe, but long term, probably not. That's because house prices are cyclical in nature, so it always feels like they won't recover, and then eventually they do. But you might think, what if this time it's different? It's probably not, but it can depend on your area because some places have already recovered, like Christchurch, while others are still well below where they were at the peak. That might have been the creepiest thing I've ever done in my life. Cool. Question number 2. Can you actually live off your investment properties in New Zealand, and how many do you need? And the challenge is, explain it, but don't use the words property or investment. Okay, that's an interesting one. So yes, you can live off your houses and just live off the rental income, but you really need to get the mortgage down because your mortgage is your largest expense when you buy a real estate unit or house. So ideally, if you're going to do this, you're going to want something that's quite high yielding. I always aim for 6%. And if you had 2 of these assets that are fully paid off, no mortgages, then you can just live off the rental income. So short answer is 2, but obviously it takes time to get there. I always liken it to shares. You know, if you want to just live off your shares, then putting money into shares today isn't going to give you that income. You've got to do it for a long, long time to grow that wealth before you can do that. And it's the same with property. But short answer, 2 properties. Oh, did I say? I said property! Oh, I failed. So question number 3 is it bad to be a landlord or property investor? Is it unethical to own more than one property? And the challenge is, explain it like I'm 5. So handily, I've got some dragons because I assume that's what 5-year-olds like. Now, I don't have kids yet, but I do have nieces and nephews. Hi. So this guy over here owns 2 caves and he lives in one and he's got this other cave. Now, this guy over here doesn't own any caves yet. And so you might think, well, why doesn't this guy just give one of his caves to this guy over here, because then they both have a cave? But the thing is, it took a lot of work to go and find that second cave. This guy had to fly around and go and find that cave, maybe made it nicer, made it the sort of place that a dragon would like to live in. And so it wouldn't be fair that this guy did all this work and then just gave the cave to this guy. But what would be fair is if he paid a little bit of money each week to this dragon over here so that he could live in that cave. That way, both dragons get to live in a cave, and it's fair because this guy did the work. That's probably the best I can do with that one. Question number 4. What was the biggest house price crash in history? Okay, that's a good one. Explain it while doing a plank. I guess I will get up on the table. So, biggest house price crash in history, it was probably... The biggest house price crash in history was probably in Dublin in modern day history. That was in 2007, it must have been. House prices fell something like 56%. Also at the same time, US house prices fell about 40%. But if we go back in time, I think somewhere around 33 AD in Rome, there was this emperor called Tiberius, And he said, all you banks, you need to start owning more land. So they bought up land, but then house prices fell about 50%. But it's quite hard to say because in actual fact, they didn't have good data back then. The other one, the Black Death, lots of people in Europe died, unfortunately. That was about 1350. House prices again fell about 50% because the population declined, but it's hard to say exactly how much because after all, they didn't have good data either. But I like looking back at ancient history because it does show you that house prices eventually recover. Okay, that's it. Thank you, Tim Fox, my PT, for that. How much do you need to earn to buy a house in New Zealand? Oh, that's a very good one. And the challenge is... Oh, thank God. Whiteboard speed draw. Okay. Oh, okay. This is good. I can do this. Cool, let's get 30 seconds on the clock. 3, 2, 1, go. So if you're a homeowner and you're looking for your first home, you can typically borrow 6 times your income. And so if the average property in New Zealand costs, call it 700K for a first home buy, you're going to need a 10% deposit. So we're talking 630K mortgage. So divide that by 6, and if my math is correct, you'd need about 105K worth of household income. Just as a very, very basic ballpark, if we're talking investors, it does depend on your debt, but you can do 7 times income. Oh, and I'm out of time. So what tools do you use to invest and how do you run the numbers? Okay, and the challenge is explain it using a Monopoly board. Okay, we'll get these out of the way. Brand new Monopoly board. It's like the ASMR challenge again. So when you play Monopoly, what you really want to know is how much money are you going to get from your rent, whether you've got 4 houses or a hotel, compared to what it actually costs you to build those houses and buy those properties. And in real life, you don't get a card like this, which is the reason why I use Opus Plus every single week. Now, this is a free app that I actually created for this channel where you don't have to pay any money, you don't have to put your credit card in or any nonsense like that. And it basically gives you that Monopoly card so you know how much money you might make from that property every single week, month, year, or over the next 15 years. And it actually compares the rent you get and the increase in value you get compared to what it cost you to build, which is the reason why I use it. Now, you can go and create a free account like that and start running your numbers today, because otherwise it's just a bit of a roll of the dice about whether your property is going to make you money or not. Is it still possible to buy a house and invest in property on a single income? That's a good question. Sing your answer. Okay. So I have a friend, and his name I cannot say on the YouTube because he would not be happy with me and that would be a privacy breach. But he bought his own home and then he bought an investment property. But in order to do that, you really need to earn a good income. Is that okay? It was a bit shit. This is why I did not progress as an opera singer. What is the best place to invest in New Zealand? And the cinnamon challenge. Okay. I have come prepared for this one. Okay. How big are we talking? More. Is that enough? I think that's enough. I think that's enough. A little bit more. That. And you have to swallow it whole. Yeah. Auckland. Auckland plastic. All right, that's all the questions I'm going to do today. But if you've ever wondered what economists do with their own money, then watch this video next where I walk you through my exact routine, what I do with my money each week, and explain why you might like to do the same.